Story 2. Ladies' Walk. This beautiful lined path with twisting beech trees is a peaceful place today. But the boundary mounds along the route indicate a struggle to control who used this path in the past. After being a royal residence, Ashridge House went through a number of hands until it was bought in 1604 by Thomas Edgerton. Before completing the purchase of the estate, Thomas Edgerton began buying up the surrounding land to enlarge the park. Ashridge House became a prominent elite home for the Edgerton family for subsequent centuries. Thomas Edgerton's son, John, was created the first Earl of Bridgewater. Ashridge would be home to 8 Earls of Bridgewater through to the mid-19th century. But it was John Edgerton's son, another John, the second Earl of Bridgewater, who enclosed major parts of the common land at Ashridge. We've already touched a little bit on enclosure in Story 1, but here in Story 2, in the early modern period, enclosure was a big issue all over England. There were many different types of enclosure, some with agreements, some with not. Again, as we touched on in Story 1, common lands weren't owned by the commoners, they just had the right to use them. So landowners could petition the courts or speak to commoners to buy the right to take back the land. John Edgerton, the second Earl of Bridgewater, spent a lot of time at Ashridge, mostly to avoid the debtors he owed elsewhere. This was during the English Civil War, and John, as a royalist, was safer away from Parliament. Like many of his contemporaries with limited funds, John enclosed much of the land surrounding the estate to make money from timber sales and coppice, practices the common people had been using for themselves for centuries. Enclosures continued over the following years, with each earl enclosing different amounts of common land. They did this to extend their control on the land and to maximise the income from the estate. 200 years after Thomas Edgerton purchased Ashridge House, the 7th Earl wanted to transform the house and grounds into a beautiful grand estate. The neo-Gothic style of the house today reflects the opulence of the early 19th century. To all this building work, the 7th Earl only changed the park boundary a small amount. However, it was this route where we stand today, this Ladies' Walk, this ancient road, that the 7th Earl of Bridgewater enclosed. Although it was only a small space, this route would have been used for centuries, being the main road between Aldbury and Hemel Hempstead. The Earl built a timber yard and pond on the route to prevent the common people from using the road. His main motivation seems to be to keep the common people away from his estate, creating more distance between the park and the common lands. Lands that had previously been shared and worked in tandem were now very much separated and closed off. So as you walk down this route, see the boundaries that mark the enclosure and the barrier trees planted on top of them. These barrier boundary trees, originally here as security guards, as markers of ownership, today they are just a gentle echo of the contested space in the past. This route that was blocked for use by the few can now be enjoyed by many. This is a very soothing place, a very relaxing place today. On a hot summer's day, the cocooning leaves provide an oasis, a route of calm out from the glare of the sun. In the winter, the crossing branches nestle you in against the chill with squelching mud underfoot. Today we don't work the land in the same way we used to, but we still appreciate it. We still know its importance and we still defend it. As you walk down the route, reflect on the hundreds of feet that have walked here before you, and know that you, just like them, are still moving forward and still taking pace.
This is my route, I walk it every day, but things are not the same when we used to come. We could just run and no one would know, but now it is closed off by trees, the barrier to me. Ooh, ooh. This is my route, I come here every day, but how much longer can I say that? They blocked it from me. This was my route, I came here every day, I came here every day, but things always change, this way, that way, moving, turning in different ways. Nothing ever stays the same. This was their route, they used it every day. Things are not the same, now this is my route. For when I need to escape, this is where I come to rest my head amongst old friends. The barrier trees that once caused pain are soothing to me. This is my route, this is my route, this is my route, is that okay? This is my route, this is my route, this is my route, it's okay today. Is that okay? Is that okay? I'm okay today. This is my